If you've ever felt a client slowly start taking over, so they start running meetings, they start directing you, telling you what to do, questioning your calls, or really just kind of running the show, it's probably not your strategy that's the problem. It's how you're communicating with your clients. So in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the specific shifts that can change how clients see you, the language that shrinks your authority without you realizing it, and how to reset the dynamic with your clients if it's already slipped. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to first take you through the 3 most important communication shifts that you should be making. Number 1 is always bring a recommendation. So if there's a challenge, if there's a problem, something that you're, bringing to your client's attention, you never want to come to them and just say, okay, here's the issue, or, I don't agree with that. I don't think we should do that, or this isn't working, and then just leave open air. Because what happens is they will fill the gap. What we want to do instead is say, here's what's happening, and here are my recommendations. Even if it's something like, I want to test this, or I'm not really sure, but these are the steps that I'm going to take to help solve the problem, or these are a few different pathways we can take. And the thing is, you don't have to have the answers. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to always come with a definitive, this is the thing. We want to have options, and we want to come being a problem solver and being really proactive here. So we are leading the thinking. And that's a big, huge difference between just reporting the information. We're guiding direction and leading the thinking. So if you present a problem with no recommendation, clients feel uncertainty and they feel like they need to step into that leadership seat. So your job is to give them some potential solutions. And I will say, just as a side note, sometimes that also includes giving solutions you might not agree with. You're going to say, okay, well, I'm thinking this is what we should do, but some other pathways are this and this, and here's the pros and cons or the risks of each of these alternatives. Number 2, set the agenda. Don't wait for it. So with meetings, with strategies, we don't want to walk in and say, so what do you want to talk about? Or what should we do? We are meant to be leaders, owning and managing and leading the marketing function. So we walk into a meeting or we start a meeting, start a strategy with, okay, here's what we're covering, or here's what I'm seeing, or here's where I would like to focus today, or here are the decisions we need to make. And this alone will change the energy of your meetings. It will change how clients look at you, how they talk to you, because you're no longer showing up as an order taker, being like, okay, tell me what to do. What's the plan here? You're leading a conversation and steering where things go. Now, side note, of course, there's room for them to input. How I would run these meetings is I typically say, okay, this is what I have on my list. This. Anything on your mind that I have missed here? What do you think? Then it opens the door for collaboration, of course. So even a few other simple tips, sending a meeting agenda ahead of the time so that they know you have this, being really proactive in communicating that, and clients will really start to relax and let you lead because they're seeing the leadership. Number 3, be proactive. I've said this already, but be proactive, not reactive. So if performance dips, if there's something going on with a launch or a campaign, or, there's a contractor or an agency that's not performing well, trust me, if you're noticing it, they're noticing it. So if something dips, if something's not going well, bring it up, acknowledge it, even if you don't have the answer right away. Or if there's a risk, we really want to be proactive and try and think like 2 steps ahead of our clients. For any of you who have ever worked in hospitality, like tourism, hotels, restaurants, things like that, one of the things you learn is anticipating your customers' needs. And I did a lot of hospitality work, and I feel like I lean on that a lot as, a CMO working with my clients. But I'm always thinking ahead around like, how are they going to feel about this? Like, what might be going on in their brains right now? Like, what kinds of things are probably crossing their mind? And chances are I'm usually on the same wavelength as them. And it's so much better to have that communication or that conversation around these types of things, particularly when something might not be going well, if I'm the one to start the conversation. So we don't want to wait for our clients to notice, and we also don't want them to wonder if we've noticed. We really want to make sure that they know we're on top of things, even if we don't have the answer. It might even just be like, hey, I know this thing is going on, just so you know it's on my radar, and I will get back to you. I'm thinking through options. You know what I mean? You don't always have to have the answers. And when a client doesn't have to chase you or always be the one kicking off those kinds of conversation, that really instills trust, and you will notice the dynamic really shift, and you'll see them kind of get to like sit back a bit and let you be in the driver's seat. So that's really what we want people to feel. And I'll give you an example. This is a bit of a funny parallel, but as a mom of two, I'm often watching and consuming a lot of like parenting content and courses and books around that. And one of the things around parenting that if you're a mom as well or a parent, you'll see this. And it's the idea that our children really want to feel safe and like someone is in control. When they feel that, they feel safe, and generally behavior gets a little bit better. And how we do that is by having really proactive communication, firm boundaries. And when we are the ones saying like, hey, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, and I've got this, and they have really clear expectations, they feel safe, they feel calm, it's great. It's the same thing with our clients. If they are sitting there being like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know when we're meeting next. I don't know what's happening with this launch. What's this strategy? Like, where are things at? They start to ask questions. If we're not proactive enough in our communication, they feel like no one's driving the car. So it's kind of this notion of, okay, if no one's driving the car, this car is speeding down the hill and someone's got to get in the driver's seat. So I'm just going to move over, buckle up. I've got the steering wheel, right? And that is not what we want our clients to do. We really want our clients to feel safe and held, and like we are driving, we're in the driver's seat. Okay. The biggest mistake that I see people make when it comes to really trying to be seen as a leader, trying to have respect from their clients is this. It's where you think you need to know everything and you kind of fake it. So there's a difference between fake it till you make it and kind of like having that confidence doing something new and actually just pretending you know the answer. So I want to give you permission right now. As a CMO, you are not going to know everything, and it's okay. And the thing is, when you lie about that or you kind of try to hide that you don't know something, people can see right through that, and that really crumbles trust. And when we lose trust, that's tough to rebuild, really tough to come back from. So making sure you feel clear, you don't have to have every answer. Our job is to lead, be really clear in our strategic thinking, and have rationale and reason behind what we're recommending. And again, be out ahead of the problems, clear problems, blockers for our team, like really lead, right? We don't have to know everything. I often say my favorite thing is hiring people who are smarter than me. So bringing in a paid ads agency who's better and smarter than me at paid, bringing in a social person that's better at social than I am. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I'm the leader who's leading the team and the strategy and making sure there's cohesion. So it is actually a good thing when I'm like, you know what, I don't know. Let me go talk with this person, and here's the questions I'm going to ask. Here's where my brain is at, and here's the overarching kind of macro goal. And I don't know. I'm going to go away and figure this out. That instills trust because they know you have integrity. They know you're going to show up being honest, and that's going to make them feel like, great, I can trust them. And, you know, when they feel like you're kind of lying about knowing things, like, again, trust crumbles. A few other things that weaken authority besides pretending to know everything is rambling. So going on and trying to justify yourself or your decisions or your strategic recommendations, over explaining, kind of the same thing. And then over preparing too, because you're trying to prove that you deserve to be there and you don't need to do that. So over preparing, sometimes you might think like, oh, I'm a perfectionist, I'm trying to do a really good job, but usually that's masking insecurity, and you do not need to over prepare. Again, when we're in this leadership role, we're in this strategic role, it's really important to step back and ask yourself, like, what really matters here? What 10% of the things that we're doing here is the most important and the biggest needle movers. And that's where you want your focus to be. So it's okay to say you don't know things. It's okay to not always have all the answers. It's just really important that we're showing up in integrity and being really honest. And again, they'll see your strategic thinking, and that is the most important piece. Now I want to talk about tone and language that actually can erode trust and erode that leadership position that you have. So these are really subtle. I learned these probably a few years into my career and always took them into every job that I had. So these phrases, this is what we want to erase from your emails, from your Slack messages, when you're having meetings with clients. Things like, maybe we could, maybe. We don't want to say maybe. Or, what do you think we should do? Or, sorry if this is wrong. Or, this might be, or I'm not sure, but, or this might be a bad idea. Anytime you're saying, I think, I just, but all of those words, like, erase them. They should not be used. And they really do add up because ultimately they're like this, vote. Every time you say something like that, it's like a vote of, I don't trust myself, or I'm not feeling confident right now. And subtly over time, your client perceives that, whether consciously or subconsciously, and they can stop trusting you. So we really want to be showing up with confidence. You might be listening to this thinking like, okay, I don't want to be overbearing. I'm trying not to be this really harsh person in the room, and I want to be collaborative and a team player, and I get it. But instead of saying some of those examples, I'll give you some alternatives here. So instead of something like, what do you think we should do? You would say something like, based on what I'm seeing, this is what I recommend. Curious if you have any concerns. So instead of, sorry if this is wrong, you can say something like, here is my thinking. So you can invite feedback, of course, but you can do it in a way where it doesn't make you sound unsure, lacking confidence, or insecure. Your language either reinforces leadership or chips away at it. So let's talk about, how do we recalibrate if the dynamic has already shifted? Maybe you've already lost your client's trust, or you're already feeling like, okay, they're taking control, they're in the leadership seat, and I feel like I'm just being this order taker or this doer. So what do we do? How do we reset this? You do not need to have this conversation, but you can change how you show up, which over time will change how you're perceived. So start bringing structured agendas to your calls, to your meetings. Lead with recommendations every single time, multiple. There's a small little thing I always took away from Lululemon. We never want to come with one option because that's not choice. We always want to have some other options in our back pocket. Tighten up your language. So again, lean on that list of things to not say, remove from all of your communications, and lean into stronger, more confident language. Clarify what decisions need to be made. So when you're having a meeting, you be the voice of reason in the room. Like, hey, at the end of this 30 minutes or at the end of this hour, this is where we need to be or what we need to decide on. And don't be afraid to keep herding the sheep. Keep the purpose aligned and clear in those meetings. And then lastly, stop over-explaining. So clients can recalibrate really quickly. Like, I have definitely made these mistakes myself in the past, and then being able to reshift and recalibrate the relationship. So just keep showing up. It's small, subtle things over time that will help you pull the leadership back and pull the authority back and regain control and boundaries over your role. So at the end of the day, clients want to feel like someone is confidently leading and steering and, driving that car, not controlling, but steering and, has them and is keeping them safe, has their best interest at mind, at heart, and is really thinking about their business in the way that they are. So if you want to be seen and paid like a CMO, this is a huge part of it in how you show up, lead, and communicate. It is not just the strategy. Hopefully that was helpful, and I will see you next time on CMO School.